Howdy! Welcome to Aspire Mountain Academy. I'm Professor Curtis, your instructor for this course in Introductory Statistics. In less than 10 minutes, this video discusses how to find the mean value for a frequency distribution. Let's get started. Sometimes the mean value we need is from a frequency distribution, often in the form of a frequency distribution table. We could reconstruct the original data set from the original table and then calculate the mean value, but there's a far less time-consuming way to get the same number. So here's the formula to calculate that mean. X bar, which is our mean value, is the summation of the product of frequency count and class midpoints divided by the sum of the frequency counts. Now, note that this equation assumes that all sample values in each class are equal to the class midpoint, because it's the class midpoint that's multiplied by the frequency count. Let's look at an example to illustrate how this is done. We're going to apply this formula to this particular frequency table here and calculate a mean for the distribution. The first thing we're going to do is get the class midpoints. So we calculate the class midpoint for each of the classes and put that in the column next to the frequency counts. Remember that the class midpoint is simply the average of the lower bound and the upper bound for each class or category. So if, for example, here I take, let's say 50 and then 69, okay, I'm going to add them together. I get 119, and then I'm going to divide by 2 and get 59. I get 119. 119 divided by 2, I get 59.5. So I'm going to do that for each of the different rows. Here, add 70, 189, divide by 2, I get 79.5, so on and so forth. Okay, then I'm going to multiply the frequency count, F, and the class midpoints, X, together for each row of my table. Okay, that's what the sigma out in front says to do. I'm going to sum each of these values together. Likewise, I'm going to sum each of the frequency counts together. And when I do that, okay, so I'm going to get the frequency counts, I'm going to sum them together, and then likewise I'm going to sum each of the products together. So when I do that, you can see I get 78 for the sum of the frequency counts and 7201 for the sum of the products. Okay, then I just divide the one by the other, and that gives me X bar, which is the mean of the frequency distribution. In this case, that's 92.3. I said there was a quicker way to get the same number. We're going to use the StatCrunch. So here's a quick video that shows you just how that's done using the heights of elected U.S. presidents from our POTUS file to illustrate. Okay, here we are with the POTUS file and StatCrunch, and we're going to learn how to take the mean or frequency distribution. So first we have to actually create the frequency distribution in tabular form. We're going to use the heights data here in this column. So to make that frequency distribution, I'm going to make a histogram of that particular column right there. Click valuable bar so we can make this really easy. And now all I have to do is just transfer these numbers here on the histogram over into my data table in StatCrunch. So here I'm actually going to make my height categories, and here I'm going to stick the frequency counts. So the first category is 162. This is 165 here because it's halfway between 160 and 170. But there's that gap, remember, between classes, so 164 we'll say, because 165 actually belongs to the next category over. Oh, 164. And I'm going to keep doing this, and then I'll come back in a moment, and we'll pick it up from there once I got my table. Okay, we're back. I finished my frequency distribution table. You can see I finished making the different categories, and I have my frequency counts here from the tops of the bars here in my histogram. So now I'm ready to go ahead and make my mean value for my frequency distribution. To do that, I'm going to go up here to Stat, Summary Stats, Grouped Bin Data. The bins are the names of the different categories. This is why I actually labeled the table, so I can see from my drop-down list here the right category, the right column to actually select. Counts, again, frequency, I labeled that right. You don't need to mess with this. This will actually give you a different number if you select the other option, but the default is what is fine for most of our purposes. And then here, you've got plenty of statistics selected by default. All we want is the mean, so we're just going to select that one. I hit compute, and here's the mean of my frequency distribution. That's all there is to it. Hope that helps you. Okay, here's a quick review of what we just saw in the video. Okay, remember first you need your frequency distribution in tabular form, so if you don't have it in that form, you need to create it. Then once you have your frequency distribution in table form in StatCrunch, go to Stats, Summary Stats, Group and Data. Okay, in the options window, select your columns, select your mean statistic, press compute, you get your results window showing you the mean value for your frequency distribution. Now, how does this computed value compare with the actual mean value we'd get if we took all the individual height values and averaged them out? Go ahead, pause the video, go back to StatCrunch, calculate the mean from the data values themselves. Then come back and we'll discuss what you find. Consider a difference greater than 5% to be significant. Well, how did you do? I hope you got something like this for the actual mean value. Okay, it's not exactly the same. If you look at the numbers, it's not exactly the same as what we get from the mean of the frequency distribution, but it's very close. A difference that's less than 1. And 1 over 179 is much less than 5%. So the difference is not significant. There's no significant difference here. But why are the values any different at all? Shouldn't they be exactly the same? Well, remember the assumption we mentioned when introducing the equation for calculating the means of frequency distributions? That equation assumes that all values within a class or category are equal to the midpoint for that class or category. How true is that assumption? Well, for most data sets, it's only partially true. So, that deviation the actual values have from their respective class midpoint manifests itself in the end result of that equation being different from the actual mean value. The more that assumption isn't true, the more your calculation will deviate from reality. And that's why it's important to make sure your assumptions apply before you take some tool from your statistics toolbox and run with it. Here, it's not a huge deal, but I hope you can see that if your assumptions aren't met sufficiently, then any result you get from your tool may not provide a true picture of reality. Here's a quick overview of how to perform the same calculation in Excel. Those who are interested in learning how to use Excel to calculate frequency distribution means can pause the video here and follow along. You just see it's a step-by-step. Start with your frequency table, calculate your midpoint, so you have to add in the extra column, multiply the count, so you're actually constructing the calculation just like we're doing old school style, but you're doing the calculations here in Excel. Sum the counts for the counts column, sum the products column, divide the one by the other. There's your mean for your frequency distribution. And that brings us to the end of this mini lecture. I hope you found it helpful. You can find more mini lectures for this and other courses at AspireMountainAcademy.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.